The global citizen movement is rallying the world's wealthiest nations to live up to their promises of helping the poorest achieve their development goals. Through the Economic Development Assembly taking place in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire this week, Global Citizen and Bridgewater want the G20 bloc of nations to live up to their commitments in Africa. Business editor Xolani Mbanjwa is in Abidjan. Xolani, very good afternoon to you. What exactly is expected there, and why is this gathering so important for our continent?
Good afternoon, Vuyo, here in sweltering Abidjan. This is quite an important gathering ahead of the G20 summit that is going to be taking place in Brazil in December, because over 6 heads of state from Africa, investors and of course civil society are actually meeting here. At least over 1,000 delegates will be meeting here in Abidjan over the next few days to find ways of rallying those countries who have made commitments since 2013 to support the world's poorest nations, most of them found here on the African continent. And as we know, when it comes to the debt trap that most of the poor countries actually have, the debt trap is real when it comes to taking money away from needed infrastructure development, health, education, and food security initiatives by the world's poorest countries. So it's quite an important gathering here to actually rally these countries to make good on their commitments, which have been made now for over a decade, and also starting with the replenishment of the World Bank International Development Association Fund, which is a fund where poor countries can get zero-rated interest loans for certain developments such as health, education, and food security. So this gathering is quite important, especially since South Africa is going to be overtaking that presidency from Brazil when it comes to the G20 for the next year.
Let's talk about your first point, infrastructure. What kind of infrastructure is being referred to here, and how would it help ordinary Africans?
Well, as you know now, the mantra that is being spoken about is African Continental Free Trade Area. It's going to create the largest free trade area where small businesses can actually trade from one country to the next, and it makes that trade quite easy for small businesses, improving economic growth in various countries and creating jobs while keeping prices of goods and services low. Here we are talking about bridges, we are talking about roads. Currently, if you want to have your container from South Africa to be transported to a country here in West Africa such as Ghana, it could take you up to 6 months because the infrastructure, the ports are not quite ready to accommodate that growing trade which has between the 51 countries on the African continent. This particular bridge and this highway that we are looking at right now is a highway that was built and finished 10 years ago, soon after the Ivory Coast Civil War. Many international investors were staying away from this particular country, not wanting to plow money because of the risk associated with it. The Global Citizen, together with Bridgewater and Harith Holdings, are actually saying such bridges as this Henry Konan bridge, which is 5.4 kilometers, has been able to connect 2 parts of this particular 4 million population city of Abidjan, and it has cut commute by 2 hours from the north side to the south side, and it has increased the Abidjan economy by at least 1 percentage point. It is these particular infrastructure projects that are being run by South African companies such as Harith Holdings, which has concession here to actually run the operations here. This is an important one as far as that is concerned. That's why we are absolutely here for that.
A very important gathering indeed. Hopefully it will yield significant results on infrastructure, but also on food security, which is an important issue on this continent, especially given the fact that an estimated 20% of the African population is undernourished. A very important gathering indeed. So we're going to leave it for now.